made it. We're in Vietnam now, finally. Yeah, so exhausting. I couldn't stream yesterday. I was trying and I just passed out here on the couch and on my bed, which doesn't even have a sheet. That's a pillow from the couch. I stayed up all night packing and preparing, at which I had originally planned to wake up at 4:30, and then I left at 6 a.m. I called an Uber in Taipei. It cost me $75, so insane. Yo, the minimum wage there is $6 an hour. I don't know how anyone in Taiwan can afford anything anymore. It's mind-boggling, and I'm glad to leave. It's so overpriced. I got to the airport, lines, waiting for everything. It took an hour plus just to check in. There was so many people. Security said it's normally busy in the morning, so if you're gonna travel and wanna avoid lines, I would recommend late afternoon to evening. The flight was bad. I was scrunched. I sat in the middle of a seat next to some big dudes. I didn't want to pay that extra money microtransaction just to pick my seat, but maybe I should have now because that was really uncomfortable. We arrived safely and bam, more lines. Lines. It took an hour 15 standing in line at immigration just to enter Vietnam. Great for their economy, bad for me. I normally wouldn't be too concerned, but I did have an appointment and a meeting time with the realtor and landlord so I could get into this place. So at this point, I knew I was going to be late. It was coming up to about 2 hours past our meeting time after all the delays, and actually a takeoff delay back in Taiwan. I got through immigration, no problem. It's normally easy, just hand your paperwork, they hand it back, no questions asked. I got my bags, I was very excited. Everything actually made it for big boxes, suitcases here, some with computer equipment. And then to leave the security area, you have to go through another x-ray machine. I don't know what they're checking for, but they make sure that you put your bags in there, whether they're big or small. So I put everything in, and of course my carry-on is loaded with batteries, several tablets, several different phones, because they pulled me aside and they were like, what are these for? What are you doing? Turn them on, prove to me that they're working. It was like they were trying to pin something on me, but didn't have an excuse to actually take something away. So the lady kept poking and looking at things in my bag, and I have this streaming contraption that I've invented to help me stream. It's kind of an engineering project, and it has some Huawei modem dongles attached to it, and she was like, oh, these are Huawei modems? You said specifically, you can't bring in these secondhand Huawei modems on your own. This is not allowed. And I was thinking, okay. So after all that she just pointed through, this is what she's nicking me on? Dude, I could have just put those in my pocket or my sock and she would not have even known they were on me. You can either put them in the trash or you can pay me $50. And I was like, oh crap, I don't have US currency. How about Taiwan currency? And she was like, fine, but the price is gonna double. At that moment, I knew, like, dude, I can't lose these devices. So she pointed next to a book that was inside a shelf on the x-ray machine by the exit, and I walked over there with several thousand Taiwan dollars and put them on the book. I didn't really look at anyone, but there was 5 or 6 customs agents, officers standing around there. They seemed satisfied, and then I quickly went back to my bags, put everything back together, and ran out of there diligently. That was like the weirdest scam or bribe situation I've been in. I was just happy to have all my stuff. I needed a SIM card. My phone was at 5%, and at this point it was about 2.5 hours late to meet up with my realtor and the landlord. So I was like, oh God, I hope they're waiting for me. Like, this is so important. I get my place. Where am I gonna live? I got so many things on me. Since my phone was at 5%, I was like, do they sell any chargers in the airport? Is there a store that sells the cables? I have batteries, I just forgot the cable, and they said no. So I borrowed the one at their desk to charge it long enough I could call a Grab taxi. It was a 7-seater. And it took another half hour just to find the driver because he was parked way back in the lot and then left his car. I was walking around. I had to push everything pretty far just to get there. My phone is really about to die at this point, maybe 3%. And I managed to send out a message to my realtor like, hey, I'm on the way, please wait. And I shared the link that gives them your update to where you are in the Grab ride. You can share the details. And so at least at that point, he knew I was coming for sure. I made it, a little over 2.5 hours late, but they seemed happy. They were just drinking coffees and hanging out. There's cafes in the neighborhood, and I got in, no problems. The place is okay. It's not super fancy, but it's, you know, got some natural lighting, which is definitely an upgrade. We'll do a formal tour later. I'm very happy. The neighborhood here is amazing. It's got a lot going on. There's a couple universities, so a very young and vibrant feeling. It's cool. I'll show you guys later on the live stream. See you soon, everybody. See you from Vietnam.